If you're thinking about buying a condo in Hamilton, but not sure where exactly to look, then this video is for you. As in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite condo buildings throughout Hamilton in its different regions. Whether you're looking in downtown Hamilton, Ancaster, Dundas, Stony Creek, Waterdown, the Mountain, and more. But before we dive into my personal favorite buildings in and around Hamilton, let's first take a look at the condo market stats and see where the majority of condo buildings are selling. And as you can see here, in the past 12 months, the vast majority of condo buildings are really selling between that $350,000 and $600,000 throughout Hamilton. And one of the reasons for this is in the past couple of years, really since 2022, the condo prices have been on a slight decrease. And the thing that is driving this price decrease in condos is the rising amount of inventory, as we've only continued to see more and more condos hit the market, sit on the market longer, which creates some fantastic opportunities for first-time home buyers or investors who are looking to purchase a condo in the Hamilton market. So if you're new here and want to learn everything about what it's like living in Hamilton and the surrounding areas, make sure to hit the subscribe button. My name is Matthew, the founding realtor of the Living in Hamilton channel and team. And for the past few years, we've been helping people just like yourselves relocate here and buy a home, or in this case, a condo. So if you're thinking about making the move, whether it's in 60 days or in 6 months, send me and my team a message today. Otherwise, let's just jump on into it and discuss where are the best condos for you to consider moving to. Now, make sure you watch to the end, as there's going to be some condo buildings I'm going to recommend to some people that I would recommend avoiding to another. So, of course, I don't know who you are watching this video here, so I'm going to try to give you the lay of the land of each of the condo buildings, what the pros are, what the cons are, so you can best determine where are the best condos for you. Other than that, let's jump in and first discuss my favorite condo buildings in downtown Hamilton. All right, so here we have a few different graphs. So we'll start over here on Locke Street and kind of make our way more east. So the first building that I absolutely love in Hamilton is this building right here on Locke Street. It's actually one of the newer condo buildings in downtown Hamilton that I personally love. Some of the issues I find with the newer condo buildings, as I'm sure you're aware, like Toronto, they can be really shoebox feeling. Now, with that said, I personally love this condo building here as, one, not only are the condo fees relatively low compared to some of the other buildings we'll discuss in just a moment, but the walkability that this building offers is absolutely fantastic, as you're right on Locke Street that has many great local jams, shops, and restaurants for you to enjoy. And as you can see, you can find a variety of 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom options right within this building, all around that $500,000 and $600,000 mark, with a few penthouses that have some spectacular views of the sunset. Then the next building that you should consider if you're thinking about moving to downtown Hamilton is over here, and this one is on Caroline Street. Now, Caroline Street is going to be, of course, much closer to what I would refer to as what everyone knows downtown Hamilton for, you know what I mean? You got Jackson Square down there, you got the Ontario First Place, you really have like the City Hall right there as well. Now, one of the reasons why I personally love 67 Caroline Street is, one, because the units are much larger than typical, you know what I mean? Usually, it's hard to find a 2-bedroom unit over 1,000 square feet. But in this building here, you can find many different options ranging anywhere from 1,200, 1,400, even 1,700 square feet of living space, making it a perfect option. Now, because the square footage is a bit larger in this building here, one thing to keep in mind is that the condo fees are going to be a little bit more expensive. With that said, you still have some fantastic walkability, as you are basically right beside Hess Village, right beside Bay Street and James Street, offering some great accessibility. Then the other buildings I'd recommend are just on the other side of downtown, and it's over here on King William. Now, again, this is a newer building, and some of these ones can definitely be smaller, about 500 square feet. However, the building amenities in this one here are fantastic. They have a great gym and a fantastic rooftop terrace that you can enjoy, as well as a great party room. I have a few friends actually that live in this building here, go over routinely, so maybe you'll see me if you end up buying a home here. But as you can see, some of the more affordable, brand new condo buildings you can choose from selling in the high 300s. Then two other buildings you might want to consider if you're thinking about central Hamilton are a little bit outside of the downtown area, but with that said, have some good walkability if you want to just walk within nature, not necessarily the closest to many shops and restaurants. However, in terms of like, you have the escarpment rail trail right here running along them, so you get great accessibility. But but here they are at Charlton Avenue. You have 467 and 479. Here are going to offer some great and unique layouts for both 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom options, and are fantastic in terms of its location, as you get easy access to the Sherman Cut, which takes you up to the mountain. So if you want to get any amenities up the mountain, it's a super easy access. And for that matter, like when we're talking about walkability, while yes, you're going to have to walk a lot of stairs to get there, you know what I mean? I don't know how many exactly, probably 200 or so. If you just walk up the stairs, which you can find one at like the Mountain Brow Park access here, you have lots of great restaurants and shops right on the concession straight here on the mountain that could be a great option. Then if you are looking for a more unique condo building, the next area I'd really recommend isn't actually a condo building, it's more lofts. And this is something that we are seeing become more and more common within Hamilton, is these old historic schools are being converted into lofts. And one of the things that my clients absolutely love about this is, one, the condo fees are quite low here. Now, with that said, there is definitely less shared amenities within this, but with that said, the units are absolutely expansive, and you can find some beautiful 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom condos here. This one here is in the Stinson School. So now you know my favorite areas in downtown Hamilton. Let's look a little bit more out into the western side to find probably the best value to purchase a condo, and it's going to be over here on the west side, right on Main Street West, basically as it turns into Wilson, and it's going to be the 1964, 1968, and 1966 condo buildings right here. And as you can see, a lot of condo buildings here are really selling anywhere from $300,000 to $450,000, and here they're almost always going to be above 1,000 square feet. Now, with that said, the condo fees for all of them are about $1,000, can be a little bit more. However, with that said, this is actually the building that I lived for multiple years when attending McMaster University, and could not recommend it more. Not only is it fantastic for student rentals, as you get 3 bedrooms to rent out, or you know what I mean, you could live in one and rent out the other 2 to subsidize your child going to McMaster or yourself living there. But 2, the amount of access that you have to both Ancaster and Dundas for this purchase price is unparalleled. As you can see, it just changes into Wilson Street right here, and you're just within a 5-minute drive in Ancaster. You're within a 5-minute drive of Dundas. Now, with that said, in terms of the walkability, you're not going to be that close. I mean, you have a couple small plazas, like Right Wingers would be a good one. Hungry Dude right here, just whereas Whitney connects to Main Street. Walk down a bit more, you need about a 20-minute walk. You can find a plaza in Dundas, find a plaza over here on Main Street close to McMaster. Why I personally love these ones here is it's great easy access for any McMaster students, as you're one of the first stops on the bus to go to Mac. You have a great like it's a cemetery here, but they're all in-ground cemeteries, and it's right tucked into the escarpment. They do a fantastic job with the landscaping, so it really is just like you're walking through this very whimsical area that has just amazing architecture and amazing flower beds to enjoy, which I know I absolutely loved living in. But then 2, like I mentioned, the units are absolutely expansive. Not only do you have great views from the balcony of the escarpment or of the Ancaster Creek area in this conservation area, so no matter what, you're gonna have a great view as well. But like I said, it's the best value condo you're gonna be finding anywhere in Hamilton. Then if we look on the other side of Hamilton and the east side, and where my favorite condo buildings are, there's gonna be 2 in particular. So we start over here at the Red Hill Valley one, right here. Now, this one is going to be a slightly older unit, but very similar to the Main Street West units. These ones here are going to be a great value. Now, with that said, they are going to be a bit more expensive than the Main Street West ones. You know what I mean? Usually ranging from $400,000 to $500,000. However, the condo fees are a little bit smaller, and with that said, definitely offers a bit more walkability. Again, you have a couple small plazas to enjoy and some fantastic amenities. But what I really love about these condos here is the ample amount of sunlight that these ones allow in, with just their large windows and super easy access to jump on the Red Hill Valley Parkway if you're looking to commute to Toronto. Then the other condo building is just here on King Street that I absolutely love. I've seen a few different units here. Again, depending on where you're looking in this condo building, you could find some ones that have some spectacular windows that are just wrap around floor to ceiling windows that offer ample amount of sunlight in. But then you're going to also find a lot of great 1-bedroom and 2 bedrooms, you know what I mean, usually around that 800, 900 square feet, that offer great accessibility to King Street and everything it has to offer. Not to mention, you're just a short drive away from Eastgate Square Mall right here as well. Offer some great options if you're looking for shopping close by. Then If you're also looking for some great options close by, but want to be a bit closer to the water, then this is definitely the area you want to consider. It's really like Stony Creek waterfront right here. And as you can see, it's just north of the QEW. So in terms of the walkability to shops, to restaurants, not very great here. However, with that said, if you're looking to commute into Toronto or commute into other parts of the GTA, great accessibility as you're right alongside the QEW here, but also too has some of the best waterfront views in all of Hamilton. So as you can see, you have a few different options to choose from if you're looking to live close by the water. So the first one is over here. You're gonna have two different condo buildings. You have the Francis one and Green Road one that are gonna be larger, slightly bigger units as well. However, they typically tend to be a little bit less updated compared to some of the newer low-rise buildings to choose from with a little bit less amenities. However, both of them are going to offer fantastic opportunities to get that waterfront view. And then if we just look a little bit more east, you can find even more brand new low-rise condo buildings to choose from. Now, with that said, depending on where exactly your condo building is, or your condo unit, I should say, is within the building, is really going to dictate the prices here. As of course, something that's going to have a view of Lake Ontario is going to be a lot more expensive versus something that is going to be facing the QEW in the parking lot you're in. But nonetheless, if you just want easy access where you can walk around Lake Ontario on a regular basis, enjoy the sunrise, as the sunrise will rise over Lake Ontario for you. That's why it's personally my favorite condo buildings. And if I was looking to purchase a condo in Hamilton, these are the buildings I would look at out of just pure enjoyment of, I love the sunrise. I think there's no better way to start the day. And these are the buildings I would look into. Now, like I mentioned, not the closest in terms of the walkability to those local restaurants and shops. However, with that said, if you are looking to move to Stony Creek and want a condo building that is a bit closer to shops, these are the different buildings I'd recommend taking a look at. So we'll first go over here, and this one here is right on Main Street or Highway 8, I guess depends on how you label it. But nonetheless, it's a brand new condo building, and I've had a few clients actually I've sold a few units in this building here as well, and it's absolutely perfect. Not only do you have some great amenities with a nice gym, a yoga studio, but you're literally just across the street from a huge plaza that pretty much has everything you need, from a gym to a Fortino's to a Tim Hortons to a Starbucks to an LCBO, a beer store, Shoppers Drug Mart, you name it, that plaza probably has it. And that's why a lot of my clients absolutely love this building here if it's right for them. And also because it is a newer building, not only are the condo fees lower, but I find that these units here are actually at a great square footage, you know what I mean? Usually ranging between that 700 and 900 square feet. Then if we move a little bit more east, and it's going to still continue to be along Highway 8, you have these two buildings right here as well. One is 319 Highway 8. It's a fantastic opportunity. However, I do find the turnover here is quite low, so you have to really snatch them up. But the other building that you're going to find a great opportunity to choose from is right here at 495. Now, one of the downsides of this building right off the rip is there's no balcony, and I know that is definitely a deal breaker for some of my clients. However, if you don't mind this building here has some of the best natural light you're going to be getting in a condo building, because it has those bay windows that just allow so much natural light to pour into the building's units. So those were the areas of Stony Creek. Now let's take a look at Waterdown and the buildings I recommend. And there's really going to be two different areas in Waterdown that are going to have the most options to choose from. Both of them, thankfully, do have lots of balcony options. So the first one here is a little bit more out on the east end, and I know a lot of clients, actually a lot of my friends that grew up in Burlington, end up love living in this one here. One, because it's close to their families and friends that live in Burlington, but you don't necessarily get the prices in that premium of buying a brand new condo unit in Burlington, in Waterdown. It's going to be slightly more affordable here, or your money's going to go a little bit further and you're going to get a slightly larger condo unit. But as you can see, the amount of inventory in this different story building is going to be immensely valuable, as because it gives so many different options to choose from, as well because the three towers are all connected. It has some fantastic building amenities. Now, with that said, as you can see here, depending on the unit, they are going to be on the slightly smaller side because it is that newer building. So, you know what I mean? Anywhere typically from 500, typically it's going to be 600-700 square feet, I imagine. However, you can find some larger ones really in that 700, 800, even 1,000 if you're in that penthouse area right here. But as you can see, lots of options really hovering around that $500,000 mark, Great walkability if you're looking for just quiet streets to walk along. You have the Grindstone Creek right here. Fantastic spot to take the dogs for a morning walk. However, in terms of like local restaurants, shops, this is not going to be the area for you as you're a little bit further out. Now, with that said, one of the things that my clients love about this building here, if you're living in Waterdown, you'll probably have seen my other videos talk about the bottleneck that happens in Waterdown. But because you're on the east side, you can easily just jet out and then rip down Branch Street here to go to the Burlington GO if you want easy access to a GO train station stop that without the headache of going through Waterdown's biggest bottlenecks. Now, with that said, if you are looking to have a bit more walkability and don't mind, you know what I mean, dealing with those bottlenecks to be closer to those local gems, those local restaurants, better walkability to shops, this is definitely the area. It's on Dundas and Hamilton Street right here. You have two different buildings to choose from. Both are relatively newer buildings, but just offer great walkability, great amenities to choose from. It's this one here at 30 Hamilton Street as well as 5 Hamilton Street right here to choose from. So if you're thinking about making the move to Hamilton but still unsure of what condo buildings are right for you and your family, send me and my team a message today. We'd be happy to actually jump on the computer, learn what you're looking for based on your own search criteria, and give you our personal recommendations based on your exact search criteria. So down below, you can find our email to send us a message today or to book your buyer kickoff call. Otherwise, let's go take a look at my favorite condo buildings in Dundas. All right, so where you're going to be finding the best condo buildings, in my opinion, in Dundas are just over here. And they're all going to be on the Creekside Drive for the most part. You can find some other great opportunities as well in Dundas. These ones here are just my personal favorite. They're all low-rise buildings. They all have views of nature. And in terms of the walkability, like downtown Waterdown, this area here, you're not necessarily right on the strip of like downtown Waterdown's condo buildings were, but you're just a little bit off. Nonetheless, it's like a 2-minute walk. And in my opinion, these are going to be some of the best buildings to choose from in Dundas because of that accessibility. Now, with that said, Dundas definitely comes at a premium penny. As you can see here, a lot of the condo buildings that are selling are really north of that $800,000. And this is what I mean about the Main Street buildings that we talked about earlier. Like, we're right here and you're buying a 2-bed, 2-bath for $910,000. That's about 1,500 square feet. If you just come over here to like where the Main Street buildings were right here, you can get the same thing, essentially speaking, not of course close to the walkability and whatever, but in terms of just like the size, the units, etc., it's probably a little bit smaller, but you're also at half the cost. So the value in those Main Street buildings is absolutely exceptional. Now, with that said, these ones here, you get what you pay for because you are very close to great schools, great walkability, great shopping options, and just great nature that is found in Dundas. It is a fantastic opportunity. If you are set on Dundas, these condo buildings here is what I would highly recommend. Then the other area that is going to be similar to Dundas and also really illustrate the value that you're going to be finding within the Main Street buildings is if now we look at the best condo buildings you're going to be finding in Ancaster. So if we come up here, there's going to be really like 3 different areas you could call it of condo buildings you're going to be finding. Now Ancaster, they're all going to be low-rise condo buildings. So if you're looking for the best views, you're not going to be finding it here. With that said, you have some ones that have great accessibility to some great shopping options. So we'll start over here at this one here, right on the Golf Links Road. And this is probably the most amount of condo buildings I find my clients that are looking to downsize, either in Hamilton, Burlington, but want to remain that great walkability and want to move to Ancaster. Absolutely love this condo building here. And it's really two different buildings that are right beside each other, right on the Golf Links Road, 970 and 990 Golf Links. And that's because not only are you just right across the street from the Ancaster Meadowlands Shopping Center that has everything from a Costco, a Home Depot, an Indigo, a dog park, Best Buy, PetSmart, Golf Town, etc. It's got everything. Again, a great option to choose from, but the buildings here have great size units, usually at a minimum 1,100, typically 1,200, 1,300 square feet, and usually selling around that $600,000 mark, give or take some here as well. Now, one of the things to pay attention here is there's not as many building amenities here compared to some of the other buildings. However, with that said, you're in Ancaster for under $600,000, essentially speaking. It's a fantastic deal. Then the next area you may want to consider is really in the middle of Ancaster, right here, also on Wilson Street. Again, going to have some shopping options right here. You got Fortino's, you got a Food Basics, Shoppers, a couple other restaurants as well, like the U Old Squire. But for the most part, these buildings here, again, are going to be low rises. a bit smaller than the last ones we talked about. You know, 1,100 to 700 square feet, depending on the unit you're looking for in the building. However, with that said, another fantastic opportunity if you're looking to move to Ancaster. But then the other area that you might want to consider if you are looking for a brand new condo building is right over here, and it's just on this road right here, Markle. And again, it's a low rise, so not going to offer the most amount of building amenities, the best view. But with that said, you have a fantastic opportunity, as here you have some fantastic schools close by you. I mean, you're right beside the Bishop Tonus Secondary School. You're right beside a variety of shopping options, including the Ancaster Smart Center right here to choose from as well. All right, so now that you know my favorite condo buildings in Ancaster, let's take a look now at the Hamilton Mountain and where you're going to find some other great options. So we'll first look over here in the Mountain View neighborhood. Now, this here is One Redfin, another low-rise condo building, very similar to the ones we really saw in Ancaster, especially the last couple two that I recommended right over here. Here, gonna be a bit more bang for your buck, you know what I mean? You got a lot of units selling between that $500,000 and $700,000 mark, usually offering 1 bed and 2 bathrooms, typically speaking, and offer just a great amount of schools that are fantastic according to the Fraser Institute, as you have the Mountain View Elementary School right here, as well as the St. Teresa Avila Catholic Elementary School as well. But then if we kind of just move more into the Hamilton Mountain, is where you're going to find a few options to choose from. Now, this area here, while it does have more options than Dundas, than Ancaster, I would say, even Waterdown for that matter, compared to Central Hamilton, which I know a lot of people that are looking in the Hamilton Mountain might also consider Central Hamilton. Just less options to choose from on the Hamilton Mountain in terms of just condo buildings. Now, with that said, the most amount are really going to be on the north side right here. You're going to find some fantastic opportunities. Now, here are also going to be some of the more affordable condo buildings, like you see, really selling between that $300,000 and $400,000 mark, that offer some fantastic views, especially if you get it north facing, looking over Central Hamilton and the Hamilton Harbor and Lake Ontario, including these buildings right here on 174 Mountain Park Avenue. These are going to be the most expensive condo buildings on the Hamilton Mountain, and for good reason, as not only are the units absolutely monstrous, sitting at usually over 2,000 square feet, usually around that 2,500 square feet, but then again, the views from these windows here is immaculate, as they're unobstructed and they're just floor-to-ceiling bay windows that you get to enjoy the spectacular views. And I've had the pleasure of checking out a few of these in person and couldn't recommend them more if you are looking for that spectacular view. Now, the building amenities are also fantastic. However, with that said, the condo fees here are going to be enormous. With that said, if you're looking to buy a $1.5 million condo, it's probably less of your worry for those condo fees. Then, if you're looking a little bit more in central part of the Hamilton Mountains, we're going to find a few more options to choose from. And actually, we're going to be seeing a few more projects really be built here in the next coming years. But these are the two best buildings right now to look at. You got the newer one on 120 Spring Valley Crescent, and then a slightly older one that has some great opportunities in terms of affordability. However, you mean $320,000 is fantastic for a condo on the Hamilton Mountain. However, these fees here are going to be a little bit more expensive. So I hope now you have a complete breakdown of the different condo buildings that you may want to consider in Hamilton. Comment down below which ones you thought you would consider most likely moving to or investing in. But if you want to learn more about the different amount of new townhome options available in Hamilton, that is the next video I'd recommend you go take a look at. You can find that right there. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.